the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Friday edition of Chasing the Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. We got a big show for you today. 6 total NFL picks. It is the return of the Greasy Moneyline Parlay. World Series could be wrapped up tomorrow. It's going to be our final pick of the season here, unfortunately, for baseball, for Game 6 here today. And some issues behind the scenes here chasing that paper this morning. Ian and producer Tito absolutely scrambling. I'm seeing a message now that Ian is good, so we'll bring Ian in from VegasInsider. The boys absolutely scrambling here this morning, down to the wire. Indeed. Ian, what is going on? Not very professional here, guys.
It's a great question, Joe. I don't know what's going on. I guess, I don't know. We'll have to figure some things out after the show.
Can
you hear me now, at least?
Yeah, now we must compliment you. If Tito wants to bring your name display off the screen here, I want to take a look at your shirt. You're going with no buttons whatsoever. A little sex appeal. Oh, one button. Okay.
Button.
Ian, what are you wearing for pants today at home? You know, we're always talking about your shirts. Stand up. Let us have a look. Are you wearing pants, hopefully? I don't want to get thrown off YouTube. Oh, boy, that is rough. What is going on here? Slippers? Ian, can we get some level? Sit down, Ian. We're going to get thrown off YouTube here. They're going to throw us off the internet. I'm going to get chewed out by my bosses here at VegasInsider.
You asked for it.
I was looking to have a little bit of fun here. I thought you'd be wearing, a nice pair of jogging pants or something, but barefoot and slippers. This is
well, now
not very professional.
Now my cord's all messed up. There we go. All right, we're good.
All right, yeah, just absolutely scrambling here on a Friday morning, a beautiful Friday morning here in November. A lot to get into. 6 total NFL picks, the return of the Greasy Money Line Parlay. Let's get right into the action here, Ian. I'm going to start things off for us. We got the Colts in New England taking on the Patriots. Total for this game is sitting there at 40.5 points. Give me the under in this one. We got some trends with some stats to back them up. Take a look at the Colts here. They've gone under in 12 of their last 13 games going back to last season. This includes 7 straight unders on the road. Average combined score of just 28.4. In Colts road games, offense 25th in yards per play. Complete incompetence in the red zone for both of these offenses. 25th and 29th in red zone TD conversion percentage. Expect more field goal attempts and touchdowns if they can get in close. And don't sleep on Indy's D. Top 8 in yards allowed per play and on third down. Tied for third in yards allowed per rush. And this is such a brutal matchup for the Colts. Brutal offensive line. They're allowing the 4th most pressure. Patriots defense generating the 2nd most. Give me the under in New England. Ian, what do you have for your first best bets?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with my Moneyline Underdog pick of the week, and I got to pick it up with these because these have lost a few weeks in a row. So I'm only going with a small underdog this week. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 108 against the Las Vegas Raiders. I know the Jaguars have got off to a rough start to their season, but if you look at net yards per play, Joe, which is one of our favorite stats to at least start our handicapping process, the Jaguars ranked 9th in the NFL in net yards per play. That makes me think we're going to see a little bit of positive regression from this team. Now, the two offenses in this game, the Jaguars and the Raiders, very comparable in a lot of areas, but it's the defense that's going to make the difference. The Jaguars are head and shoulders above the Raiders' defense. Let's take a look at a few areas that the Raiders rank in defensively. 27th in opponent yards per pass, 30th in opponent completion percentage, 32nd, that is dead last, in sack percentage, 29th third down defense, 31st red zone defense. This Raiders defense absolutely stinks. With the Jaguars being at home this weekend, I would set them as slight favorites, but instead they are set as slight underdogs. So I'm just going to throw away the points. Just give me the Jaguars to win outright on Sunday.
All right, next up, storyline of the weekend in the NFL. There won't be a dry eye in the house in Washington as Kirk Cousins makes his emotional return to Washington to take on the Commanders in what will be a very sentimental game. The total for this game is sitting there at 43.5. Give me the under! In this one, let's get right into it. Very low scoring pattern in Washington games lately. Average combined score of just 33.3. In their last 6, only one of those games got into the 40s. Don't be fooled by this Minnesota offense. Now, we all know the Commanders' offense absolutely stinks, 29th in yards per play. But Minnesota's average, 17th in yards per play, second to last in passing plays of 20-plus yards. The big play ability simply has not been there. And bad third down offense combined with strong third down defense. 18th and 25th on third down offensively, each in the top 9 in third down defense. Expect a lot of punting in this one. Ian, what do you have next?
Yeah, I'm looking at the matchup between two of the most disappointing teams in the NFL this season, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to go with the Yucks. -3 in this one to get back in the win column here. Both teams offensively have been terrible this year, but it's the Rams who have been even worse. 31st in yards per play this season. That's second last. I don't know if you know, there's 32 teams in the NFL. So 31st actually means second last. They can't move the ball. And now they're going up against a very good Bucs pass rush. The Buccaneers rank third in sack percentage, getting a sack on 8.5% of their opponent dropbacks. And that's bad news for the Rams' offensive line, which has all of a sudden become one of the worst in the entire NFL. They're 28th in QB sack percentage. So the Buccaneers pass rush is going to feast on Sunday, and no team throws the ball more than the Buccaneers and the Rams. They're ranked first and second in pass play percentage. So if you want to see how this game's going to go down, take a look at how each pass defense does. The Buccaneers, huge advantage in this area, 4th in opponent yards per pass attempt. The Rams down at 25th. So I think it's a nice spot for Tom Brady to bounce back. It's going to be another rough spot for Matt Stafford. Give me the Buccaneers -3.
Indeed. Okay. That's not quite the game it was meant out to be, or built out to be at the start of the season, but it is what it is. Okay, my final total play for Sunday here. Packers, Lions, total 49.5. Boom, I am all over the over in this one. Let's get right into it. Check out these Lions home games this season, just flying over totals. Average combined score of 71.75 in Lions home games. No fewer than 58 points scored in their 4 home games this season. It's time for Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers to put up or shut up and show some goddamn pride. LaFleur, the mastermind. Rodgers, the reigning MVP. Come on, guys. This offense hasn't been that bad. They should have every opportunity to explode versus a Lions D that's last in the NFL in yards per play allowed, yards per pass attempt allowed, opponent third down conversion percentage, and unshockingly, they're allowing the most points per game in the NFL, 32.1. And here's the thing, the Lions offense can play keep up versus this average Packers defense. Take a look at the Lions offensively, 4th in yards per play, 3rd in the red zone, only 13 sacks allowed. Expect points in the Motor City. Ian, bring it home. Your final pick of the show.
Yeah, final pick of the show will be for the Sunday Night Football matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and Tennessee Titans. And my prediction for this game is that the Chiefs will win this game by exactly 1 million points. I think they crushed the Titans on Sunday Night Football. So I will take them to cover this double-digit spread here. The Tennessee Titans enter the game 28th in net yards per play. They are once again one of the most fraudulent teams in the NFL with their record, but it kind of makes sense if you look at the teams that they played against. They played the Giants, Bills, Raiders, Colts, Commanders, Colts, and Texans. The only good team they played this season was the Bills, and they lost 41-7. Woo! Now, I'm going to hear some people say, but Ian, Derrick Henry is back. He ran all over the Texans last week. Well, I think it's fair to say the Texans' defense Not quite as good as the Chiefs' defense, which has actually become a pretty good defense at stopping the run. 7th in opponent yards per carry. So Derrick Henry will not run the ball successfully. The Titans won't be able to do anything on offense. The Chiefs will score at will. And I will be taking the Chiefs minus 11.5. I'll take the Chiefs on the alternate line. Minus 20.5. Minus 100. Minus 1,000. Chiefs win big on Sunday night.
Indeed, Ian's staking his entire reputation on the Kansas City Chiefs covering the spread here on Sunday night. Okay, guys, it is now time for the return of the most controversial bet in all of sports betting. The Greasy Moneyline Parlay was on a bye last week, but the Greasy Moneyline Parlay is back this weekend. So we're 3-3 on the season, still up units because most of these come in at, or they all come in at plus money. But unfortunately, we're coming off an 0-2, 2 straight losers on the GMP. And people quite upset about that. You know, we caught some footage of people in Miami discussing the Greasy Moneyline Parlay. People are quite divided over the Greasy Moneyline Parlay, unfortunately. A guy in a Sioux jersey there for the Dolphins leaping in. Who knows what side of the aisle he's on for this one. But, yeah, let's get back to our winning ways with the GMP. We got a 4-legger coming in at plus 107. And things start off tonight in beautiful East Hartford, Connecticut. Give me the Yukon Huskies minus 720. Huskies looking pretty good. 3 wins in their last 4, 2 of which as an underdog. They draw a Massachusetts Minutemen team that's lost 20 straight on the road. PFF grades the Minutemen 128th out of 131 teams in college football. Next up, we go to lovely Fort Worth, Texas. Give me TCU minus 305 over Texas Tech. 3rd versus 99th in yards per play. No fewer than 38 points scored for TCU this season. Expect them to roll after being disrespected in the college football playoff rankings. Next up, we get into the NFL legs of the GMP, and we're off to charming East Rutherford, New Jersey. Give me the Bills, minus 610. Congrats to the Jets for beating up on a bunch of backups in the Green Bay Packers. But this is the best team in football coming to town. We got a massive gap between the offenses, and the Jets will not be able to keep up. And we wrap things up in delightful Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City Chiefs minus 560. KC will not take this game lightly after being embarrassed in Tennessee last season. In a game where they only scored 3 points, the Titans are in contention for the worst 5-2 team of all time. Coming into this game ranked dead last in net yards per play. Kansas City is 4th. So there you have it. The Greasy Moneyline Parlay. Looking to get back to our winning ways there. So, geez, 7 picks. In and out. Ian rebounding after a rough start to the show. But here we go. Okay, guys, if you're looking to tail any of these bets or fade them, the choice, quite simply, is yours. As a responsible adult, I recommend placing your action over at BetMGM. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Kick off your day of sports betting with the king of sportsbooks. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. That's VIBONUS. All one word, no spaces, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 or older. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. New sound effect. You know, you've heard that on countless other shows, I think. But credit to producer Tito for mixing it up a little bit. Producer Tito, by the way, in a bit of a grumpy mood here this morning. He in hot water with his new wife. He spent the night on a futon last night. He went all in, put his paycheck on all Houston Moneyline Parlay. Of course, the Astros came through on their leg, but I don't know what he was thinking. But the Texans there. We'll touch on that game in a minute. But I want to touch on Game 6 of the World Series. Winding right down. This has been one of the best World Series in recent memory. Astros, you know, they got to win one of the 2 games remaining. The series shifts back to Houston here on Saturday night for Game 6. And I got a best bet for this game. We got lines up, we got props up, and I'm going to go all in and take Framber Valdez to go over 6.5 strikeouts. That one coming in with odds of plus 114. This is fantastic value. Plus money for Valdez. You check out his resume of late here. 7 or more strikeouts 9 times in 13 starts since August 11th. Back-to-back 9 strikeout performances in these playoffs. Also worth noting, he had a 10 strikeout performance versus the Phillies in his final regular season start on October 5th. And this has been a big storyline of the World Series here. The Phillies are striking out a lot, a 36.6 K percentage in the Fall Classic for the Phillies. Now, to put into perspective how bad that is, the Angels had the worst strikeout percentage during the regular season at 25.7. We have the Phillies at 36.6. So give me Valdez to keep on rolling. You get at least 7 strikeouts there in Game 6. So what do we think, Ian? I know the Phillies have become a bit of a darling in the baseball community. You know, if you don't necessarily have a horse in the race in terms of your fandom or a big futures bet, you think the Phillies can get back and, pull off the unlikely comeback? Or the Astros going to close things out tomorrow night?
I think the Astros close it out, but I don't know. Of the 5 games that have happened so far, I'm 0-5 with my bets on them, so I've lost all feeling for this series. Every time I think the teams are going to zig, they zag, so I don't know. I think the Astros close it out, but I'll not be betting on that game because I do have an Astros to win the World Series ticket at plus 400, so I will wait to see what happens in Game 6. If it goes to Game 7, I'll hedge big with a Phillies bet. But I'm just going to root for the Astros to kind of close things out, unfortunately. But my heart will be with the Phillies. I hate Mattress Mac.
Yeah, just a gigantic pitching advantage here for the Astros when you factor in how great their bullpen has been. Valdez has been incredible. And then you got to figure if it goes 7. Javier's been fantastic. I'd imagine he would get the start over McCullers, but then again, you would have McCullers. Do you trust him? I don't know. Some people are saying he was tipping his pitches. Some saying he wasn't. You got to imagine Ranger Suarez, combination of him and Aaron Nola potentially for Game 7. Aaron Nola's kind of falling off a little bit. Some of these guys, you got to keep in mind, a lot of these guys don't even make the playoffs throughout their career. So by the time you get through a couple playoff series and you get to the World Series, that's a lot of innings. Those innings add up, and, some guys you're just not built for it. That's how it is. So, Ian, I want to touch on this Thursday night football game really quickly. Of course, me and you collaborated on the Eagles minus 13.5.
Yes.
Everything kind of pointed to them. But, weird things happen on Thursday night, and if it's easy as it was on paper, then we'd all be rich, right? We should have known, because every single person in the world was on the Eagles, I think. So we should have went in on the Texans on our collab. But what I want to discuss about the Eagles, the thing that stands out to me about Philly, of course, they're 8-0. Congratulations. Great season by them. But they haven't played anyone yet this season. And, it's hard to knock them for that because all you can do is play the schedule that's in front of you. But I think, not having that experience of facing any sort of adversity whatsoever, that could come back to bite them in the playoffs. Now, I know in the Jaguars game, they went down 14-0 early, but you take a look at their schedule here. Detroit, Minnesota, Washington, Jacksonville, Arizona, Dallas with Cooper Rush, Pittsburgh, and Houston. So you have, 2 playoff teams in there? Dallas and Minnesota. We all think Minnesota's a fraud. I don't know. You can't knock them for that. It's not their fault that they have this easy schedule in front of them. But, if they get all the way to the Super Bowl and they're playing the Bills or the Chiefs, I could see them just getting their ass kicked. So what do you think of my take there on the Eagles and how that lack of diversity could come back to bite them?
Yeah, I agree. I think it might be time to kind of start betting against the Eagles for that reason. And the big thing I noticed last night is why I took Damian Pearson over his rushing total. And even when I was talking about that pick, I said if the Texans stay in this game, it's going to be because they run the ball successfully. And that's what they did last night. The Eagles can't stop the run. The Texans ran the ball down their throat. Jordan Davis being out for them made that problem even worse. So I think that's going to hurt them in the long run if they play any team in the postseason or if they get to the Super Bowl and they can't stop the run. it's not going to be good for them. Like now that they're down to 29th in opponent yards per carry, they're allowing 5.2 yards per rush. That's not good. That's not sustainable. And it's not like they've been playing against, like you said, top-tier talent either. So, yeah, I'm a little worried about the Eagles, despite them actually winning last night.
Yeah, I know the Philadelphia fan, they just want to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. But, you know, you see it all the time in the NFL where, you know, wild card teams make a run to get to the Super Bowl. Look at the Bengals last year, upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs there. So, yeah, I don't know about the Eagles. I kind of like the team. You know, hopefully they prove me wrong. I like Jalen Hurts. You know, it's a nice underdog story. Everyone criticized the Eagles when they picked him in the draft. But, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. And Ian, I mean, look at their schedule the rest of the way. They got Washington again. The Colts, who are ready to punt on the season here almost. The Packers, we know what they are. The Tennessee Titans, we know what they are. The Giants. You know, the Bears, they're in Dallas on Christmas Eve. That could be a challenging game. New Orleans. It's not a difficult schedule. But
I think the Packers beat them in 2 weeks.
Ooh. You know, I could see the Packers scoring 30 points here in Detroit this weekend. And the Packers are back! The Pack is back! You know, you can see that getting going. And, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that develops here, guys. Guys, if you are on YouTube right now, I see a few of you guys chatting it up in the live chat. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Right below that, there's a subscription button. You can hit that as well. Help us get the numbers up here at Chasing That Paper. We're trying to do Monday night Nitro numbers in their prime. So smash those buttons for us. And if you like what we do here at Vegas Insider, I highly recommend checking out the Vegas Insider app. We've got up-to-date, easy-to-navigate odds for every major sport. We have all our latest shows, best bet videos, and podcasts, props, trends, features, news, all on the Vegas Insider app. Download the Vegas Insider app right now on Apple and Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Okay, it is now time to get into some viewer picks from the CTP crew. We had a lot of submissions here today. The boys, I think it's fair to say that our audience here at Chasing That Paper would be 99.9% men. It's usually men submitting for the CTP crew picks anyways. They went 2-1 last night, so they're giving us a lot of winners. So let's see what we have here for tonight and for this weekend. Now, this is one I like quite a bit, and I'll add to it. Our guy at Kowloon City, he submitted before. He's given us winners before. He likes Tua over 7.5 rush yards, minus 115. And he's gone well over this his last 2 games since the return. And simply put, everyone has been able to gain yards on the ground versus the Bears. 31st in the league. Dak ran for 34 against him. Mac, 24, etc. Yeah, Tua could get that on one run. We are seeing him, pop out of the pocket, and hopefully he slides. None of this headfirst collision shit for Tua. But it's supposed to be very windy in the Windy City as well, so we might see more running from the Dolphins than throwing. So, yeah, I like that one quite a bit. Tua over 7.5 rush yards. Shrek and Gost. This guy's giving us a lot of winners. His wife probably can't keep her hands off of him. Now, we had a tough beat last night. It went into overtime. He had the under in the Canes and Bolts game. But he likes the Celtics here tonight, minus 7.5. Boston, 3rd in EFG percent. Chicago, 26. Boston also has the edge in opponent EFG, ranking 11th. Chicago, 22nd. Boston in a revenge spot. After losing the first matchup of this game, they lost by 18. Boston 26-16 after a loss since last year. Oh, yeah. I remember playing that trend. Yeah, we wish Nathan good luck with that one. Obi knows. Looks like he's buying a point here. Nothing wrong with that, though. If that's the way he wants to bet, so be it. He likes the Packers. He's going to take them inside of a field goal, minus 2.5 at minus 145. Some bias in his analysis, but the data supports it. Lions are awful versus the Packers. Rodgers starting as away favorite, 4 or less versus Detroit. ATS 4-1 and technically 4-0 since Aaron only played the first half of the final game of 2022. 18-2 straight up versus Detroit in his career as a favorite. Ian, your thoughts on that game? Did you take the Lions or the Packers on the spread, or did you pick the total?
I took Lions +3 in that spot. I'm still not really a huge believer in the Packers here. I don't know. On the road, divisional game. Lions defense stinks, yeah, but their offense is good. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to take the points. I think it comes down to the last score.
Give me the over, baby. All right, what do we have next, Tito? Okay, Captain Axe Locks. He gave us a winner on Dallas Goddard, I believe, yesterday. I think that... No, he gave us the under on Jalen Hurts rushing yards, which was a prop I like quite a bit. And he's, I think Hurts only rushed for 26 or 28, and his total was around in the high 40s. So he likes the Oklahoma State money line this weekend. Yes, they got absolutely worked by Kansas State last week, but the Cowboys still have a shot at making the Big 12 championship. They're 38th in TTO in the country, while the Kansas D is ranked bottom 20 in TTD. What's TTO and TTD, Ian? I believe this is a great buy low spot. Yeah, we'll take your word for it. He nailed his pick last night. So yeah, we'll have to look into what those acronyms are, but I'm sure they mean something. So what do we have next, Tito? This might be the last one, I think. Matty Puppy Sports. This guy's been giving us a lot of winners. Of course, he was the one who picked the Falcons to cover against the 49ers, and one of his reasons, this was a couple weeks ago, was why not? And he absolutely nailed the pick after Ian and I mocked him. Oh, he got the last laugh on us, but he likes Hopkins over 80.5 yards. He has had over 100 yards and 10-plus targets the last 2 weeks. Seattle has given up over 80 yards to lesser receivers. Hashtag chasing that paper. Hashtag back in action. Hashtag on a roll. Yeah, so Hopkins, he hasn't missed a step. No feeling out process for him getting back into the lineup. I think that the Cardinals are significantly overvalued in that game. I think that the wrong team is favored in that game. I love Seattle +2. I love Seattle teasing them up all the way up to +8. I think that's a fantastic spot. Did you have any thoughts on the Cardinals Seahawks game this weekend, Ian?
Yeah, I'm on the under in that game. Seahawks defense all of a sudden has gone from one of the worst in the NFL to one of the best, second in opponent yards per play over their last 3 games. So I was betting on a lot of overs in Seahawks games earlier in the year. I'm now switching that, and I'm going with an under.
What a funny season for quarterbacks here. Like Geno Smith, you absolutely have to be a believer at this point. You know, he's in a good situation for maybe the first time in his career. And as I often say, too many young quarterbacks are set up to fail in this league, and people just can't wait to just throw them out. People tried to do it with Tua. You guys know that. I've been talking about this for years, and now they surrounded him with some talent and some coaching, a bit of a better offensive line. And it's funny what we're seeing about Tua. Oh, the only reason he's putting up these numbers is because he has good receivers now. Isn't that how it kind of works? Isn't that why Aaron Rodgers' numbers are worse? Because he doesn't have good receivers this year? Come on, guys. Smarten up just a little bit. Jeez. All right, guys. It is now time for today's Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today, we recognize Alex Smart. And by the looks of this guy, not a guy you want to mess with. He can be found on Twitter at AlexSmartSport1. Alex nailed his 2 college football winners this week, extending his run to 22-10 over his last 32 picks. 61% on the season, save 33% on Alex's Friday or Saturday college football top plays by clicking in the link in the description below here on YouTube. The discount will be applied during checkout. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, bettors.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Just need to sneak that in there.
That. Yeah.
Tito in a bit of a goofy mood. The Broncos on a bye. Unfortunately, we can't bet the under on their game this weekend. Ian, what do you have going on this weekend outside of your sports viewing?
Nothing, to be honest. Nothing.
Yeah, me neither. I'm going to go to the gym after this. And I go to the gym simply at this point in my life so that I can eat like shit and drink a lot of beer.
Yes.
You know, there's none of this beach body building, you know. I'm a father of 2 sons, and it's full-on dad bod prevention at this point. It makes you feel pretty good, you know. It's a nice release. You got to get away from these computers and whatnot. But what about work-wise, Ian? The Bacon Bets podcast. You have a bunch of stuff over at BetSide to help people get ready for Week 9. Tell us all about it.
Yep, Bacon Bets podcast for Week 9 is live. My best bet for all 13 NFL games. And also myself and Matt Verderam do the NFL pregame show Sunday at 12 p.m.
Yes. All right, can't wait to check that out. All right, well, that's it, guys. I hope everyone has an awesome weekend. Good luck with your bets tonight. Good luck with your bets this weekend, unless you are fading us. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!